Okay, so now it's time to see what I'm baking next time. Okay, let me see. Let's go for the same roll. This one. Wow. Okay, this one won't be as easy as this week. So the flapjacks were the easiest thing I baked so far. Pastel de Nata. So we're making Pasteis de Nata, Portuguese custard tarts. Okay, so let's do this. We'll start by making a butter block. This block will be added to the puff pastry. And we're going to start doing the puff pastry next. But first, I like doing the butter block. So we needed 12 centimeters by 12 centimeters, the butter block. So here I'm starting the puff pastry dough. Just flour, water and salt, and then we mix it until it makes a cohesive ball of dough that looks smooth. So it will take a few minutes. So here I'm fast forwarding it so it doesn't take so long. It took at least 5 minutes doing this, mixing it. Here I'm checking if the dough is ready, but it's not. So I take it back to the bowl to mix it a while more. Here I'm checking it again. Now I have watered my hands so that the dough doesn't stick as much my hands. And here I'm showing the ball. The dough looks good, so I'm forming a ball. And I'm going to cut a cross on the top, and we'll use this cross for the next step of the dough. But this dough needs to go to the fridge so that it's about the same temperature, the dough and the butter. So this is a while later, and I also took the butter out of the fridge for a little bit because I don't want the butter to be very cold, or it might start breaking the dough while I'm rolling it out. So here I'm using that cross that we made, and I'm rolling the dough to make a cross, leaving that center. That's where I'm going to put the butter. And now we are covering the butter with the dough. Stretch it so that it's fully covered. And now the other sides. The dough felt very good. And now we can start rolling it out and do the first fold. We're going to make 3 folds for this recipe. For regular puff pastry, you usually do 6 folds. But for this one, we don't need to do the 6. So I'm rolling it out to about 50 centimeters wide. Doesn't need to be a perfect rectangle. Of course, if you manage to do it, it's even better. Now I'm folding the first one, and then I'm going to take it to the fridge, and later we'll go back to the puff pastry. Now I'm starting the filling, the custard filling. So I prepared the eggs. It's 6 yolks and 1 egg, and I mixed it, and then I started the syrup. I'll have all the ingredients listed below. This is flour and cornstarch and a little bit of milk to make a slurry. Here I'm showing the slurry again. We are going to add the slurry to the rest of the milk. We are using 500 milliliters of milk in total. We are going to take this onto the stove so that it gets thicker. And here I'm showing the syrup, and I'm adding I'm pouring the syrup into the milk mixture. We are going to sift it later, so no need to do it now. We will need to wait before adding the egg yolks or the eggs, just 10 minutes, so that it's not very hot for the eggs. And now I'm sifting it, and the filling is almost done. So as I said earlier, the ingredients are all listed below. This filling is so good. So here I'm back to the puff pastry, and we are starting the second fold, and we are going to do another one after this. If you see that the puff pastry is getting very warm, that the butter is melting a lot, you do one fold only and take it back to the fridge. But in this case, I thought that it was ready for the 2 folds at once. So that's what I did. And here it is. Try to not add a lot of flour. And now I'm starting the third fold. Here it is. The dough is looking good. It's ready to be stored in the fridge for a while. Yes, now we are ready to make a rectangle to start making the pastries. So we're making a rectangle of 30 centimeters by 20. Here I'm checking. And when that's done, we are going to roll it like you would a cinnamon roll, for example. Before I start rolling, I sprinkle it with a little bit of water. Yeah, that's what I'm doing now. You might need to add a little bit more if you see that it needs a little bit of water so that the dough is sticking inside, because sometimes you add a lot of flour. So now I'm starting to cut it. I use my finger as a measure to cut the slices. So this makes about 20-25 tarts. Okay, I'm showing one. And then I'll start using this pan. This is like a cupcake pan. It's not the ideal one. and it's very difficult to make this like this, because you need to keep turning it, so it's much easier if you do it in individual tins, individual baking pans. Found this aluminium pastry cases, so I decided to do them. These ones have the shape of a pastel de nata, the regular shape that we are used to here in Portugal. So it felt much better doing it like this, and much quicker and easier. So I highly recommend doing it like this. It doesn't need to be aluminium. You have metal pans for this. Okay, so now I'm adding the filling that we made earlier, and this is almost done and ready to go to the oven. And here it is, already done. So I learned from the first ones, and I started doing more based on the results of the first ones. So I used only the aluminium cases. I saw that it gave the best looking ones, so I only used those for this batch, and I decided to leave them a while longer. These ones look very similar to what we are used to here to find on bakeries.
Hey guys, welcome to one of my favorite parts of these videos, the tasting. Okay, so I have a few Portuguese tarts, and some of them look a bit more like we are used to, like this one, or this one, because I used some thin liners, or the baking pan that I have is like for muffins and stuff, so the shape of the tart is not exactly the same. The bottom is very wide compared to the usual, so you can see, maybe you can see it here, this one is very wide, and this is the usual size of the base of the pastel de nata. Okay, so I have to say that I tried a little bit earlier one of them, but it was so hot that I could barely taste it. So I left the real tasting for now, because now they are not as hot, and I can fully taste it and tell you what I think about them. Okay, I have a few more in the oven. This recipe makes a lot of them. Okay, so let me try one of them. What? I don't know if you can hear the noise. The puff pastry is doing its job, very crunchy. But yeah, could be a couple more minutes in the oven. It's so good. Oh man. It's one of the best pastries in the world. Yeah. Super approved. Okay. This was my first time making this, and I wouldn't say this is easy to make, and we usually don't do it at home, because you can basically find it in every bakery here. But, some of them are better than others, but they are usually pretty good. And these are not so easy and quick to make, so it's not something that we usually make at home, but they are super good. So let's see what I'm baking next. I'm really excited to see.
Let's see what I'm baking next week. Let's go for another one here in the middle.